My name is Robert Tolan. I'm the vice chair for Honor Flight Central Coast. Honor Flight is a national organization that takes World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans back to Washington, D.C. for 100% for free. The Central Coast has an amazing hub or chapter, whatever you guys want to call it, that has taken over 400 of our local military heroes, spanning from Cambria all the way down to Ventura. I'll give you guys a little timeline on what our trips look like. We do about 3 or 4 a year. Next year, we're going to go down to 2, and I'll explain why. But on day 1, we typically leave on Monday, and the veteran shows up to the airport about 4:30 in the morning. Now, the veteran typically does not want to go, especially our World War II Korean veterans. The reason, they're older, they have their daily routine, and they just don't want to leave their wife. Typically, their wife is the one kicking them to go on this trip with them. All right. A lot of these veterans don't speak about what they experienced in war. This is another reason they don't want to go. They also don't think they deserve it, but they do deserve this trip. When we get to DC, or when we land in Baltimore, when we get into Baltimore, we have dinner, they go to sleep, and they wake up about 5:30 in the morning the next day. They're still quiet. They're not really talking. Then we go to all of our memorials. We go to Arlington. We do changing of the guard. We lay a wreath. It's a very emotional event. We go to the World War II Memorial, Korean. We go to the Vietnam Wall, Lincoln, the Marine, the Navy, and the Air Force Memorial, all on day 1. During this time, we have what I call a presidential escort. We're literally being transported by Capitol Police. They're literally kicking. We have motorcyclists who are kicking cars out of the way to move them so our buses can go through all the traffic. Because how many of you have been to DC? Yes, traffic is way worse over there than it is in Los Angeles, all right? And we're taking multiple buses at a time. So can you imagine our big buses trying to get through? So we're very grateful for Capitol Police. During that day, these veterans are finally opening up. They all become family. They're telling their stories that they've never told in 60, 70 years. The next day, we go to the Naval Academy, Fort McHenry, where the War of 1812 took place and where the national anthem was founded. We take them to Mission Barbecue, which donates all the food, and then they're back on a plane heading back to San Luis Obispo, where they think the trip is done. Little to their knowledge, there's usually about 200 people waiting for them at the airport. This event's very, very emotional, and I want to invite you guys to attend one of these events. Have any of you guys attended these Welcome Home events? Awesome. Yes, I see we got Coastal Peaks and we got American Legion over there. They're very emotional. They get back super late at night. We have people show up in their pajamas. They come, they walk them home, and they leave. And these veterans write us letters telling us that they'll never forget that welcome home. They also write us letters, the families, after the veteran passes, saying that this veteran never would stop talking about the honor flight. It's something that every veteran needs to go on, even if they don't think they deserve it. It's 100% for free. And the way you guys can get involved is, 1, you guys can have a veteran that you know of, go to honorflightccc.org and have them fill out an application. We have 300 on our waiting list, but please get them signed up. If you want to go as a guardian and you want to be the one to actually pull a wheelchair and actually witness Washington, D.C. through the eyes of one of our military heroes, especially our World War II guys, you will have to pay your own way. It's about $1,500, but everything is covered, clean hotel, buses, food, everything's covered. But it's well worth the money. We have people, they're on their 6th, 7th flight with us as guardians, and they're paying their way. You can also go on there and fill that out. You can also print the form out and give to a veteran if they're not internet savvy, which a lot of them aren't. Now, I mentioned to you we have 300 on the waiting list and that we're going down to 2 flights next year. The reason is we take about 25 veterans at a time. Starting in April, we're going to be taking almost 100 at a time, and we're actually bringing in our own plane. We're going for about $45,000 a trip to about $150,000 a trip. This is going to be a huge change for this local chapter with only about 6 or 7 people who are helping plan this entire event. Because of the change, we are moving the destination to Santa Maria because of there's a few logistical things, and we've been asked to move it down there. But we're hoping to have well over 300 to 400 people at that welcome home. It's a long ways out, but it's April 26th. Please come out. It's something that you will never forget, but most importantly, it's something that they will never forget. Anyways, remember, it's honorflightccc.org. If you guys are interested about the Welcome Home, go to welcomehomemilitaryheroes.org, and they'll be the ones making that announcement. Thank you.